It's okay.
It's okay.
Let's see if it works.
That'll work.
Yeah.
You might have to drop it here.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
It's okay.
All right, you go back, I'll go forward.
You all set?
All right.
Good. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for convening on such quick notice, and in particular, thank you to all the different members of clergy and other representatives that are here. So this past Saturday, there was a protest on the New Haven Green. Several organizations organized this protest in March, and nearing the end of that protest, an individual that was a participant scaled the menorah and logged a Palestinian flag in between the candle holders on the menorah. New Haven police responded pretty quickly, investigated the incident, inspected the menorah, contacted the owners of the menorah, those Rabbi Bornstein is here today, and he's going to say a few words in a minute. And thankfully, there appears to be no damage to the menorah. When I received some text messages that evening about the incident, I came down myself, and the flag was gone at that point, thankfully, and saw that the menorah was not damaged. But today, we're gathering together because we in New Haven condemn hate and condemn anti-Semitism. And the many people that are standing behind me have gathered together many other times to condemn other forms of hate in our city. We won't stand for it, we won't tolerate it, and we come together to condemn it yet again today. You're going to hear from Senator Blumenthal, Rabbi Bornstein, Senator Marty Looney as well, and importantly, Gail Slosberg, the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven. Thank you, Gail, for helping convene us today. And your work is particularly in this very challenging time. I was proud to be here with Rabbi Bornstein and others and my children to celebrate the lighting of the menorah and the beginning of Hanukkah last week. And the talk about the message of Hanukkah of bringing light in a very, very dark time. It's okay to protest. In New Haven, as everyone here knows, we have a lively history of protest. We have people that are very passionate on many different sides of issues, and we embrace people's ability to call out what they care for and to demonstrate. We can hold strong beliefs, but in New Haven, we always treat each other with mutual respect. We must treat each other with mutual respect. On the eve of the Christmas tree lighting, protesters were here respecting the event and having the ability to voice their concerns. And that is an example of how we are successful in New Haven when it comes to protests. I'm heartened that this offensive act by an individual was also condemned by the organizers of this event. I think that's important to underscore, that the organizers of that protest quickly came out with a statement and condemned this. I also want to underscore that we come together and condemn all kinds of acts against groups that are protesting. I understand that there was egging of the protesters, and we're joined here today by Yale chaplain Imam Bajwa, who was part of the protest and almost got egged himself. That is not okay. And if during Ramadan people scaled a mosque and put the Israeli flag, I am sure this group and many others would be here as well condemning that. we as a community must support people's voice to free speech, but at the same time condemn hate and the desecration of a religious symbol. I want to thank the local organizations who sponsor the menorah, YBDS Chabad, Lubavitch Community of New Haven, and I want to in particular thank Rabbi Bornstein from Chabad Yeshiva, who is here representing them today. So I'm going to hand it over to Gail next, Gail Slosberg from the Jewish Federation. Gail.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Gail Slosberg. I'm the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven. And it's hard to be standing here this morning. It was hard to see what happened yesterday on Saturday morning, again during Shabbat, during our holy day. When the video of that protester climbing up a menorah, of this menorah, to plant a flag on it, is a deeply painful thing to see. It evokes thousands of years of trauma and pain for the Jewish community. This is not one isolated incident that happened without any history. The history of the Jewish people is to experience this trauma and to stand tall, condemn it, and survive it. And I'm grateful to see so many people here today. It only takes, when good people are quiet, for bad things to happen. It isn't a far walk from hate speech to hateful actions, first to property and then to people. And the Jewish community, while we are strong, we're afraid. Our children ask, can I walk down the street and wear my Jewish star? Am I still safe here to practice openly my faith? And I'm so heartened to stand here with all of the clergy and all of you to say, yes, this is America. And in America and in New Haven, we stand up to hate. And we do that together as a community of faith and good and moral people. We will not stand for it. It is my honor, and again, it lightens my heart to have Kathleen Mills, Ryan Mills from the Trinity Lutheran Church, Stephen Ray from the United Church on the Green, Dennis Ross from Congregation Michigan Israel, Reverend Heidi Thorson from the Trinity on the Green, Rabbi Eric Woodward from Becky, Rabbi Daniel Cohen from Agudah Shalom in Stanford, the Imam Omer Bashwa, the Muslim chaplain at Yale, Maytal Saltiel, the interim university chaplain at Yale, Rabbi Eli Raskin here, to stand together along with our elected leaders and with all of you to say, we stand for love and inclusion, and we will speak out against hate and against anti-Semitism. We will not stand silent ever. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I thank you all for being here. May tonight, when we light our menorahs, may we all use that light to banish the darkness that we've seen on the green. And now I'd like to, if I may, introduce U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
I want to thank the mayor for his leadership the New Haven police for their investigating this potential crime, and most important, every one of you who have come out, because your being here sends a message. We will not tolerate hate in America. And I want to say a particular thanks to all of the clergy who are here, all the faith leaders who are here this morning. More important than my words is this picture of solidarity. Solidarity among faith leaders, because they know that desecration of one religion is potentially a desecration of all religions. We're here on the New Haven Green. The New Haven Green is the place where the first settlers in America came because they wanted religious liberty. They wanted to escape the persecution of Europe, where one religion could be pitted against another, where one people could be angry and hostile to another. And I've been all around the state of Connecticut in the past couple of months, and what I've seen is Connecticut rise up against hate, because Connecticut knows that hate speech quickly becomes hate violence, as it did on Saturday, because that throwing of eggs was an act of violence. And we ought to condemn hate speech, hate violence, no matter who the targets are. I'm also reminded of my father, as I said yesterday in Orange at a vigil, who came to this country in 1935. He was 17 years old. He came to escape the coming Holocaust, and he had not much more than a shirt on his back. He spoke no English. He knew no one. And America saved his life. I once said to him, nothing like the Holocaust can ever happen in America. And my father said to me, it can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere that hate is tolerated. It can happen anywhere that people are silent. And so today, we are resolved to speak out and stand up. Silence is complicity. What happened on the New Haven Green with the Palestinian flag used as a symbol to desecrate a religious menorah is a potential crime. It wasn't then, maybe, because there was no vandalism, there was no theft. But the question is whether it was meant to incite violence. And whether our laws cover it, we need to condemn it. And we also need more funding for the nonprofit security grant program, so that these religious institutions and symbols of religion, like that menorah, are protected against vandalism and violence. This year, I hope that we will approve a budget that includes $1 billion, triple the amount last year for the nonprofit security grant program, or more. I think that's a starting point in the current budget. But let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's make sure we support religious institutions, whether they are Muslim or Jewish or Catholic or Protestant, whether they are places of worship or public places like this one, where the costs of protection are mounting. And we need to make sure that we protect religious liberty, not just in words, but in action. I'm proud of the group that has come here today to say enough is enough, not in America, not anywhere, as long as we speak out and stand up, because our silence would be complicity. All that's needed for the triumph of evil is that people remain silent. And I am grateful that we have been joined by not only so many faith leaders, but also others involved in the political world, like my great colleague and friend, Martin Looney, who I now have the pleasure to introduce. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
You can introduce her.
Another great colleague, Rosa DeLauro.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just say, I stand here with a sadness in my heart for what occurred on the New Haven Green. Really a sacred place as well for you know, people coming together and for community, etc., for an understanding that we are all really one, and that we are family, and we use this space to define the community of our city and of the greater New Haven area. My heart is so sad because this is a religious holiday. This is a religious holiday. We are in the midst of Hanukkah, of a Christmas holiday, where you reach out to people, you just embrace each other's religious beliefs. That's a cornerstone for all of us. And to so desecrate this holiday is unacceptable. It is shameful. And it just leads to what's so happening in this great country of ours, is that the divisiveness, the intolerance, the lack of understanding of one another and of who we are, and at the core of this, to so demoralize, if you will, what has happened, what happened on October 7th, barbaric. And if you have, like I have, seen the footage of what happened on October 7th, you would scream from the rooftops about the inhumanity. But we also know that we have to be conscious of what is happening as well to civilians in Gaza. And we all are, people represented here are. And our heart is full in wanting to provide the kind of humanitarian aid that's necessary for Gaza, for Israel. People have been displaced there as well. And how we can come together, bring people together to understand the sensitive and complexity of what is happening. And this act only further divides who we are and pits us one against another. That is insufferable. As my colleague, Senator Blumenthal, said, we cannot tolerate that. We cannot be complicit. We cannot be silent. And this gathering here today says that we are not silent. And we want to make sure that whatever needs to be done with regard to this is done. And I join the clergy here today. I join all of you, citizens. I join the Federation, my colleagues, and just say, at this time of year, we need to reach out to one another, to understand we live in a dangerous world, and that if we are not conscious of who we are and who others are, and respect one another and their traditions and their religious traditions, that we are dehumanizing all of us. It cannot be tolerated. Thank you for letting me know about this event and to be here this morning with all of you. And we join hands together. Thank you.
And now Marty Looney.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you so much. Today we are at about the midpoint of the Hanukkah season. And as we all know, that is a time of celebration of courage, heroism, and resilience. And these are qualities that are needed today more than ever. One of the things that is most chilling, as we all know, is that momentum toward the Holocaust began 90 years ago in Germany with the vandalism and desecration of Jewish religious symbols, and then built from there into increasing levels of horror over the next dozen years of the Third Reich. But we here in New Haven have to stand for humanity, stand for civility, stand for a recognition of of the welfare of everyone who has a claim upon us as a fellow human being. So this is something that we need to come together on. There has been so much suffering. We know there has been an increase in violence and hostilities, expressions of hate and anger since October 7th. But we need to stand here in New Haven as witness to the fact that we believe that the triumph of enlightened humanity has to be held as our goal and as our shining principle. We cannot let ourselves be torn apart by anger, by violence, by failing to speak up against violence, by looking for differences among people. That's why I wanted to commend the mayor and Senator Blumenthal, Congresswoman DeLauro, my former state Senate colleague Gail Slosberg, and all who are here today to bear witness to the ideal that we should be pursuing, no matter how far away from it we may feel that we are at a given time. We should never, never lose hope and always hold fast to that principle. Thank you.
And our last speaker is going to be Rabbi Gershon Bornstein. As I said, the rabbi has celebrated the lighting of the menorah for many, many years behind me, and we did so last week together as well. So, Rabbi.
A happy Hanukkah, and welcome back to the Hanukkah menorah on the green. Chabad Lubavitch community was standing ready for 43 years. Our sages tell us, I will say it in Hebrew, Biruba midah tova mimidah puroniyot. I'll explain in English. In positivity and light, it far outpaces and far outdoes darkness and negativity. I would venture to say, I don't know if there's one person here today by this gathering that was actually here on Saturday when this story took place. So how do we know about it? Why are we here? One act, one video went viral. I saw it, you saw it, someone else saw it, and it went on and on and on, and it's endless, it's going around. The message of Hanukkah. What could one candle do? What could one candle do? Just one candle. What could two candles do? Be a proud menorah. Light your candle. Light your menorah. Post it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Celebrate it together. Others will speak about anti-Semitism rearing its ugly head. Show your beautiful head. Proudly wear your kippah. Do a mitzvah, do a commandment. Put on tefillin. Hanukkah might be 8 days. Shabbos candles every single Shabbat before sundown. This one mitzvah, this one positive commandment, one act of positivity will far outpace and far, far, far reaching in a positive way than what one negative act can do. So yes, we do appreciate everybody coming out, but me and my mayor, our mayor, my personal friend, he joins us on the lift every year. We spend our quality time, but the highlight of the year. Thank you for arranging this, but we want to extend a welcome to everybody next year, God willing, for good reasons, to celebrate Hanukkah with all our dignitaries, the entire community, to celebrate and proudly celebrate. May we get together for good reasons only. Have a happy Hanukkah. And on behalf of the Chabad Lubavitch community, as we stand proud as a menorah, we would like you to take that message of Hanukkah home to your friends, to your families, to your communities. Thank you very much.
Any questions for folks?
So is there an ongoing police investigation into what happened? Do you have any suspects or ideas as to who it might have been, whether it was a New Haven resident?
Sure, and Chief Jacobson couldn't be here. Chief Zanelli's here if I missed something. But so the police department pretty quickly came and inspected the menorah and identified that there was no physical damage to the menorah and nothing stolen. The police department has contacted the state's attorney's office. In addition, the state has a hate crimes investigative unit from the state police that they have contacted as well. At this point, while the incident was hateful, it does not appear in the various parties' assessment that it triggers a hate crime. However, we're still looking into the matter, and I don't know if Chief, you have anything to add there.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the question, Tom. Yes, so we definitely are still investigating it. I'd like to thank the Jewish Federation. Michael Shanbrom is the one who shared the video with me. So we appreciate that, and we launched an investigation immediately. So we're still in the process of working with all our federal and state partners to determine exactly what happened. But at this point, since there's no vandalism or theft, we're just treating it as a potential hate crime, although we do categorize it as a hateful incident.
Chief, can you talk about what you know so far about kind of what led up to this happening?
So we did have a protest Saturday afternoon on the Green. It was the protest for humanitarian rights. We've had about over a dozen protests in the city thus far regarding the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and it was surrounding that topic.
There are a lot of rumors out there that this is a Yale student. Can you confirm that?
We are not able to confirm the identity at this time, but we should have more updates for you shortly.
Can you at least confirm that it's a student?
I cannot confirm that. We do not know who it is.
So you haven't identified the person?
No. In the video, the individual's got a covering on his face.
At what point would it rise to a level of a hate crime or any crime?
So the fact if there's a vandalism or some kind of criminal mischief or theft to the menorah would rise to the level, which it still may.
Defacement. This is a question for Senator Tony Paul. Hi, I'm Amelia from the New York Times. As we've seen in the video, the protesters condemned the person who climbed up and was taken down within a minute. All of the Palestinian organizers have condemned it. Why are we having this sort of press conference for something that happened with one guy in 1 minute?
That's a great question. The reason we're here is to say no to hate, to stop the cancer of hate before it metastasizes, to speak up, and to make sure that the world knows that we will not be silent. And it's not just the Jewish community. It is the faith community. It is the whole community that is today condemning what was done here on the Green. It may look like a prank, it may look like a joke, but it couldn't be more serious, because it is the mockery and desecration of a profoundly important religious symbol.
Senator, we just had 3 college presidents go before Congress. They largely failed to unequivocally condemn this sort of thing. One of them has already resigned. Do you think Yale has done enough to curb this type of...
Well, I think that's a good question also. The president of Yale unequivocally denounced what happened here. And I commend Peter Salve for his moral clarity, which was so lacking on the part of those university presidents who testified before Congress. What happened here doesn't depend on its context. It was condemnable, unconscionable. And we need all of us to say it out loud. Not just to think it, not shy away, not deny, but to say it out loud. And on the federal law, if that act had been to incite violence, if the intent had been to create violence, it might be a hate crime. So I'm very glad that the New Haven police are continuing to do fact-finding and have been in touch with federal authorities. I spoke earlier today with my staff, and we are going to contact federal authorities simply to make them aware of it. But I'm very confident that the New Haven police are going to investigate thoroughly and capably here.
Senator Blumenthal, many feel as if a genocide is taking place in Gaza. How many women and children need to die before you will call for a ceasefire and stop the killing in Gaza?
Leaders of Hamas. Get out of here.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you about that.
And my mother is a Holocaust survivor. I lost 80%. Be quiet, please.
We have to.
I lost 80% of my family to Hitler, and I am watching genocide taking place in Gaza. All of our elected officials in the United States of America are on the
We're happy to answer questions offline, but I think we'll wrap up the press conference. Thank you.
Senator,
Thank
could you
you.
please answer the question,
Sir,
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all. Thanks everyone for coming.
The
Thank you.
answer, you will not
Thank
answer
you.
the question.
Next year,
I'm happy to answer your question.
On your side, on your side, on your side.
Next
On your side, on your side.
Hey, I wanted to answer your question too.
I'm Lenny. I'm Eric. Nice to meet you in person. I feel like we should go up on the phone. Oh, right. How's it going? I'm excited to the inauguration. You know who the biggest fan of the movie is? He was here with me, Tall. Lenny, what's your last
they're important. But today, this is a very subtle statement. Protesters violating our religious symbols. Feels like a physical violation. Personal physical violation. And that's anti-Semitism. I'm the one who
Did you go to the trail or whatever? Okay, I just went to like say hi in their round.
Yeah.